I came and I know I wanted to talk to, writing people and business people and choir people, and I did all that. And I took voice lessons in high school, so I was thinking, well, maybe I'll continue that in college, see where that goes. And so I ended up with a interview with Dr. Rayapati, and I met with her, and it was a spectacular experience and one that actually made me really decide that Augustana was where I was going to go.
In Jamie's case, she was a singer, and she happened to be from Minnesota, and I have some Minnesota connections, and so through the magic of all of the offices that work to match people up, I think that was a good first step in getting her into my office. Jamie just had this effervescence about her. She was curious about everything from the get-go, so it was really easy to get her to chat about her interests. But yet, spending the time to find out what they've been doing in high school that can either carry over or change and grow into other interests that can be mentored and explored here at Augustana, that's the crux of the interview.
That's part of the reason I chose Augustana as well, is because the two majors that I wanted to do are in such differing fields that if I went to a university, I'd be enrolled in two different colleges, which would make the double major a little difficult. So the fact that I can be here and to do a double major and my professors know each other from the different fields and are willing to help me talk to each other and get it all figured out is really nice. I'm a business major and a writing major, and I don't think I'm part of a club for either one. I mean, they're available to me, but that's something that I do during school hours. I mean, writing I do outside, of course. But I get to be part of a whole bunch of choirs. I was in 5 choirs last year and a part of the opera, and I get to have a great time doing it. I'm not sidelined because I'm different majors. When I came, it's so rushed that first weekend of freshman year, everything's going crazy. And that very first Wednesday night chapel, because my mom made me promise I would go to Wednesday night chapel because she loved it while she was here. They made me promise I would go, and I went in and I sat there and I finally felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. So now as a part of Campus Ministries, I get to be that. I get to show that to other people. Our theme this year is hospitality, and I'm so excited that I get to, say to other people, I understand what you're going through and how hectic it is and crazy it is, but here, let me give you a hug, let me hold your hand. Let me show you that it's gonna be okay and we're gonna make it through this and we're here to help you. And I loved being able to do that.
I had some family ties here, and I was interested in playing football, and I knew they had a good science program, so that kind of, led me here. And my whole life, it was like med school is the ultimate goal.
In Tommy's case, he knew he wanted to do something in biochemistry, but given the institutions that we work with, anything is possible. And so I talked with him. I tried to get a better sense of what his dream 10-week summer internship might be like, and we narrowed it down from there.
I was working with a pathologist at MD Anderson, and I was kind of doing a retrospective study looking into breast cancer. So a lot of it I was compiling like previous data, but then I also had a lot of hands-on interactions with other physicians. So I shadowed a pathologist, and then she also got me in touch with a radiation oncologist, a medical oncologist, other pathologists, surgical oncologists. So I was able to kind of see the whole entire process of someone getting diagnosed with cancer and then basically their treatment all the way through.
We look for curiosity, we look for the willingness to explore, we look for students that aren't dead set on studying just one thing. We've had a couple of those students and they've gotten in, they've done fine, but we like the curiosity that the student brings.
I feel like Augustana kind of really prepared you that kind of work ethic, this is what you need to do, this is how you do it, there's a certain way to do things, and that's how you do things in a professional setting. And I feel like kind of preparing, students for the real world, I think Augustana has done a pretty good job at it. And I feel like I stacked up pretty well compared to those other students there. I was so dead set on becoming a doctor that I didn't want anything interfering with the studies, but I grew up with football, it's been with me my whole life, and I don't know. I guess when push came to shove, I couldn't get rid of it. The biggest thing is probably my teammates. My best friends are probably in football, and the bonds I've grown with the rest of the teammates. Not even just my class, but classes above me, classes before me. It's a real close-knit group, and I guess that's probably the reason why actually I'm still playing today.
It was the summer before my senior year of high school. I was given an opportunity through Highsight again, the scholarship program that I had, and I went to Spain for 3 weeks. It was awesome. I went with students from all across the United States. Once you go one time, you're gonna find a way to go back. Through the Spain trip, we had a culture shock meeting when we got back. They told us about a program that the state was putting together. So I applied and they gave it to me, and I went to China for 6 weeks. I did know about Augie Choi's, but I knew that students have gone abroad, but I just checked it out myself by going to the study abroad meeting in October, and I was just like sold on the Asia term. I took the Chinese culture class, and there were so many things that I had kind of already knew from my trips abroad that I was learning in class, and so it got me more involved. Why not keep studying it more? I was just so interested in it. I just needed a job, and I went and I applied. That's when the cafeteria in the college center was still open, so it was like a small, like close-knit. Everyone is just really friendly, and it's kind of like a little family back there in the kitchen.
If you have an attitude that you want to grow and you want to expand, you can absorb a lot more. She seems to thrive in growing, and I think she loves the ideal of, you know, I knew more this year than I did last year. And hopefully, you know, that bleeds through to, you know, their academics and then other things in life where, you know, they get excited about learning, period.
I was in the neighborhood dance group back at home. Unique was nice to have that on campus where you don't have to audition, you just come and it's just the love for dancing. So ESA, I joined freshman year with some of my friends from the dorm. We just do service together. We go out together. We've worked with the animal shelter. We also volunteer for the Children's Therapy Center. Greek life is like very involved. It's a big part of campus. And so I fell in love with the Zetas, and I became a Zeta. So I went through with the whole process, and I'm happy I did.
I hope that all that you have heard today helps you understand the passion we have for education and for your growth at Augustana. We invite you to come and check us out and learn more about all the opportunities that Augustana has to offer you in the next 4 years.